Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Southern Sorcery. This is a continuation of our breakdown series where we're doing deck techs with a little bit of spin. We're pulling in the author and the pilot of the decks we're talking about. Today we've got my good friend Casey on here to talk about the Wise Mothman. But first, I would just like to give a little PSA. Please like and subscribe and comment on our stuff. It goes a long way for helping, and we would be forever in your debt. And this is also a word from our sponsor,
Nerd Gear Gaming, with innovative original new products like the Playmat Sanctuary and the Commander Essentials Kit. Nerd Gear is for nerds by nerds. A newer company, they've had massively successful Kickstarter campaigns along with a #1 new release on Amazon. They've got lots of 5-star reviews, and the products speak for themselves, like life counters, dry erase tokens, spin downs, and various other products. Check out their website for some sweet deals, including an extra 5% off when you use our code SOUTHERN at checkout. And yes, that discount does stack with whatever other promotions they're running. You can also find them on Amazon with Prime shipping. Just search Nerd Gear or use the links in the description. So check out nerdgear.gg.
Once again, we have our deck techs coming on. We're going to have the link below for the Mox Field, so check that out, and then you can play test it for yourself. But we're going to talk about the mechanics of the deck first. The Wise Mothman, Casey, what we got going on here?
So I'm just going to start with read the card. So the Wise Mothman, he's a 4-drop 3/3 with flying.
Yeah.
When he enters or attacks, it gives every player a rad counter. Rad counters, as far as a mechanic, are only in Fallout. At the beginning of the player's main phase, they'll have to mill a card. If it's a non-land, you lose a life and you lose the rad counter. If it's a land, you keep the life, keep the rad counter. When a non-land card is milled, the Mothman can put X 1/1 counters on whatever creature on the board.
Okay.
So it's like go wide counters.
Yeah.
Not really all the counters go on him.
Sure.
So mostly it's rad counter because I wanted to keep it Fallout themed. I kind of built it because I like Fallout.
Yeah.
But I added a lot of stuff that was non-Fallout just to keep the mill theme.
Okay.
A couple cards I really like. Dreamborn Muse. Every player will mill on their upkeep based on their hand size. Most tables have a blue player. They're going to have 30, 40 cards in their hand sometimes.
Yep.
Mill out the rest of your deck. So
That's very relevant and very true. I'm sure everyone's been in a Commander game where you've seen someone that's got a hand bigger than their library sometimes.
and I want stuff that gets removed that's not the Mothman.
Yes.
So people will target Dreamborn Muse a lot of the time just because they don't want to deal with it.
Okay.
And so the Mothman as a commander can definitely kill you with commander damage. So keeping him safe is smart for the most part.
Okay.
So the only other mill card I really brought to talk about is the Mind Skinner. It's newer. It's from Dustmorn. It's a 10/1 unblockable. If a source you control deals damage to a player, they mill instead of lose that life. And it's each player will mill. So I could hit the player across from me, then every other player at the table is going to mill.
Boom.
So it quickly mills out everybody's deck.
Yeah, absolutely. The Mind Skinner.
Yeah, the Mind.
Terrifying.
It's 3 blue. So if you're like me and you don't play a lot of basics, sometimes it might be hard to cast.
Sure.
But it's still good. This is fun. Also another removal piece instead of the Mothman.
Okay, yeah. Redundancy. We talk about all the time, like how if your deck's trying to do the one thing, we'll make sure you have different pieces that can kind of do that. That way, if something gets taken offline, you can quickly audible into the other pieces that do the same thing.
Oh, of course. I think I have 15 to 20 cards, probably more, that make you either get rad counters or mill in the deck.
That is redundancy at its best.
So other than that, you want a lot of graveyard recursion in the deck.
Sure.
Because you're milling yourself as well.
A lot of options. Yeah.
One of the best things is Maldrotha, most people's commander. Really.
Yeah.
So you can just play permanents from the graveyard constantly.
Seen a lot of Maldrotha decks, yeah.
The other two are Breach the Multiverse, which makes every player mill 10. Then you pick a creature from each graveyard, put it on the battlefield under control.
Boom.
It's great. You can bring your own creatures back. You can bring everybody else's creatures back. It's really good if you can play that, and then you Rise to the Dark Realms back to back, and you get all the creators.
Yeah, if that resolves, I think I'm like, hey, you know what? GG's, you got it.
So it's good recursion for yourself, but it's also a game ender.
Yeah.
At least it should be.
Should be, yeah. If you build enough, there's going to be a lot of spicy things coming your way.
Yeah. And it's not even my spicy deck. It's other people's
everybody else's
pieces.
Deck at that point, yeah.
Other than that, other than like mill and recursion, you need like some support cards.
Yeah.
My favorite in the deck are Danny Pink. It's from Doctor Who.
Okay.
It gives all your creatures where if they get a 1/1 counter, you draw a card. So Mothman can give creatures 1/1 counters. You're milling everybody out. You might be drawing 3-4 cards on everybody's turn. So the other one is Cathedral Acolyte. It gives every creature with a counter ward 1.
Perfect.
So not a ton of mana, but it definitely makes them rethink what they're going to cast.
Absolutely. The ward will. I've seen it get so many people that think they've got it and they forget about the ward cost, and it totally throws a wrench in the plan.
So,
yep. So let's talk about an opening hand. Like, and you don't have to describe a perfect opening hand, but like, what are certain pieces? Because you are in 3 colors, so there is a little bit of the mana fixing aspect. What are some pieces that you want to see at least, or ideally would have early in the game?
I generally want at least 3 lands, so one of each color.
Okay, yeah.
Because I want to be able to cast the Mothman quickly.
Okay.
You want them on the battlefield. You don't want them sitting in the command zone.
Yep.
Some ramp would be nice.
Sure.
I really like to see a Rune Crab in the opening hand.
Yeah.
So pay 1 blue, drop it every time you drop a land. Everybody emails 3 cards.
Perfect.
So
synergy, and it's quick.
Yeah, it's an 0/3. It's a decent blocker early game.
Yeah.
But really, I try to ramp early game with the Mothman more than anything, because a lot of stuff costs a lot of mana in the Mothman.
Yeah.
Maldrotha's also 6. Rise of the Dark Realm 7.
Yeah, it's expensive.
So you need the lands on the battlefield.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or else you're really not casting much. So
Okay.
lands are the most important cards in your deck.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I mean, again, you really anytime you're starting to get into 3 color and above, 3, 4, 5 colors, like fixing becomes crucial. Like, you
of
really
course.
Want to make sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're finding those lanes for the mana.
I've been going up in most of my decks. I sit around 38, sometimes a little bit more.
Yeah.
I hate having non-games.
I used to be that type of player who, man, I gotta add this card. Let's get rid of a land.
32 lands
32
when I get out of there.
You know what? We're just gonna risk it every time and see what happens. Yeah.
It's bad.
It is. That's not the best way to play Commander. I will speak from my experiences that you will consistently find yourself getting mana screwed if that is the route you run, if the deck really requires mana. So try to keep your mana base, like you said, like 35 maybe is not, seems like a lot.
That's okay.
For a 3-color deck, that's,
yeah.
that should be probably your base, I would say, depending on the deck.
I try to run MDFCs too, that helps.
That does help. Those cards are great. I love those printings ever since they came out. They've been a huge success because late game, they don't, it's not a dead draw anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can at least play it as a land.
Yes, so. Yeah. So what are some of the all-stars in this deck that you like to see that gets you to the point of like closing out a game? Maybe not something that you talked about here, but like maybe like an artifact or an enchantment that like, I really want to try to get to this card as quickly as I can.
Oh, enchantment, Bloodchief Ascension.
Oh, yeah.
It has to trigger 3 times, so you need somebody to lose 2 life at least.
Yep.
On an end step. Once it gets 3 counters, then it's kind of online.
Yeah.
And whenever somebody mills, they lose a life.
Yep.
I don't really do a lot of combos, but if you put Mind Crank in there, they'll lose a life, mill a card, and then it'll loop until they're out of life.
Absolutely.
They're both cheap. They're 1-drop, 2-drop.
Yeah.
Mesmere Corp's great.
Yes.
Untap a permanent, mill a card.
That mills a lot.
Yeah.
Mills a lot.
Stuff that I didn't bring, but I feel like it's on a lot of mill decks for the most part. So
Okay, cool. What about a land? Is there a land in the deck that you really like to see that can be beneficial, not just for mana? Maybe it's just a really beneficial land for like what you're trying to do.
if you're trying to mill yourself more, there's a land from Fallout. It's Mariposa Military Base. It taps for colorless. You can choose to have it entered untapped, and it gives you 2 rad counters.
Yeah.
I really like Diamond City too. It enters with a shield counter. If you have 2 creatures enter the battlefield, you can tap it and move the shield counter. It's great to keep the Mothman safe.
Okay. Shield counters are great. Yeah.
If you want to spend some money, you can run Field of the Dead. But
Field of the Dead would
I love Field of the Dead.
Yeah.
But
graveyards are going to be thick.
Those other 2 lands are 50 cents. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a cool question we like to ask all of our people who come on and have done this segment thus far. What is the KC spice that you've put into this deck that like, not necessarily you just follow a deck list, like, something that's near and dear to your heart or just kind of spoke to you specifically for the deck? Like, what we got?
Oh, okay. This is a combo I put in here. It's a 3-card combo. It's 11 mana, so it's a lot of investment.
Okay.
I think I've played this deck 30 times. I've never got to cast it.
So
ever.
We're over 30 right
0
now.
for 30.
Over 30.
It's too hard. I normally mill out the pieces. I don't run
So you're
tutors.
saying there's a chance.
Yeah, I don't run tutors. I just want to have this happen. It's great.
Yeah.
So the first piece is Ashiok Dream Render. It's a 3-drop. It's like passive. It's a planeswalker. Its passive is spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause them to search their libraries.
Okay.
The next piece is Hive Mind. It's a 6-drop enchantment. When a player casts an instant or a sorcery spell, every player casts that spell. And then the last piece is Doomsday. So it's 3 black, and it says search your library and graveyard for 5 cards, exile the rest, and put the chosen cards on top of your library in any order. You lose half your life rounded up. So with Hive Mind and Ashiok on the board, every other player can't get those 5 cards.
Yep.
They exile their graveyard and library.
and this is done.
So it's not technically mill, but it's the ultimate mill because you have no more cards.
It's just poof.
So unless
gone.
you can win before your upkeep somehow, with what's on board and in your hand, that's game.
They go to draw and they die because there's only 2 draw.
But somebody's going to ask about Ashiok and Hive Mind if they're on the board. It'd be great to play them all in one turn. It's hard.
Yeah,
it's a lot of mana.
It's at 11 mana, so like you're not lying, and it's pip intensive too. It's not
it's pip intensive.
Yep.
I hope I get to cast it one day.
I
really do.
I don't. Yeah, those odd combos like that to me is really cool because I mean it's fun because you just never see it coming.
Yeah,
and it's something new to Magic that someone stumbled upon. It's like, whoa, this actually infinitely does this thing.
If you want to get it, tutor for it.
Sure,
I don't like tutors. I like randomness. But
yeah, you can tutor. That is true. If you're a combo player, definitely run tutors.
It's a funny combo.
You're trying to win because you got to go get those combo pieces. Somehow.
Yeah,
awesome. So we've got the Wise Mothman. You heard it here first. This is a deck that is going to really just mill you out. This is what it's trying to do ultimately. Obviously, it's got a route where it can win with combat damage.
Oh, for sure.
Strike for sure.
Oh, sure. I've killed people with combat damage for sure.
Okay, yeah. So you've got some different lines need be. Got a lot of redundancy. Case I really like this build. It's fun. I too am a Fallout fan. What's your favorite Fallout video game?
Everybody says 3. I really like 4.
4?
Yeah.
What about New Vegas?
I like New Vegas.
New Vegas is fun. It's just 3 restructured.
Kind of restructured.
Yeah.
I was just a 4 fan.
Cool. Yeah, it's great. All of them are good. 3 and above to me, and that's all I've ever played are just excellent. Maybe not the Fallout 76.
Yeah, I don't really like Fallout 76. I wish I did. I've tried it like 3 times, and I just stopped playing every time.
I digress. Otherwise, we'll fall into a Fallout rabbit hole.
It'll be a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for being on today. Again, the Moxfield deck list will be below. Please check that out. Goldfish it. See what you think. If you like the pieces, it's really easy to pick up because this is a pre-con. Obviously, he's edited the pre-con here, but you can buy most of it. It has some synergistic pieces already in the pre-con, and then just add the pieces that Casey's got in the list. And you got yourself a banging Wise Mothman deck. Thank you again for being on. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Please like and subscribe, comment on the video. Let us know what you might change about this deck or some additions maybe that Casey wants to see. This could help you out too. That's how I get a lot of my upgrades.
Probably will.
People with smarter minds come on, and sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're mean, but hey, it works. But thank you again, everyone. We really appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, bye.
See ya.